Lucy Daniels had always been a diligent executive. For 8 years, she dedicated her life to the marketing company where she worked, sacrificing weekends and vacation plans. When the phone rang on that rainy April morning, she never imagined her life would take such a different turn. "We're sorry, Lucy. The staff cuts were inevitable," explained the Human Resources Director, avoiding eye contact. "You will receive a generous severance package." On the way home, driving through the relentless rain, Lucy felt a mixture of disappointment and, surprisingly, relief. She was exhausted from the grueling routine, the constant demands and the sleepless nights preparing presentations. Mark, her husband of 10 years, received the news with a calmness that initially confused her. "Perhaps it's an opportunity, not a loss," he said, sitting at the kitchen table of the apartment they shared downtown. The soft glow of the lamp cast shadows on Mark's angular face, accentuating his always kind blue eyes. "We are financially stable. You could take some time for yourself." It was true. Mark, a successful civil engineer at a renowned construction company, had received a substantial promotion the previous year. The apartment was almost paid off, and their savings were comfortable. "Maybe it's time for us to think about expanding our family," Mark suggested shyly, knowing that the subject was delicate. Lucy felt her heart race. They had always wanted children, but her career always seemed to demand just a little more time and dedication. The possibility now seemed like a gift disguised as misfortune. "We could try. I could stay home for now, reorganize our life," Lucy replied, feeling a wave of enthusiasm replace the initial dismay. In the following days, Lucy embraced her new reality with surprising energy. The apartment, previously just a place to sleep after exhausting workdays, became her new project. Cookbooks occupied the coffee table, decoration tutorials filled her tablet, and for the first time in years, she had time to experiment. The first meal prepared by Lucy was an epic disaster. The chicken was dry on the outside and raw on the inside, the rice turned into a sticky paste, and the salad, although acceptable, was excessively seasoned. "It's interesting," commented Mark, chewing heroically as beads of sweat formed on his forehead due to the excess of chili. Lucy burst into laughter, something she hadn't done in so long that she almost forgot what it felt like. "It's horrible. Can we order a pizza?" That night set a pattern. Lucy experimented, failed, learned, and gradually improved. Every day, Mark was greeted with a new surprise. Sometimes a freshly painted wall in turquoise blue, other times an attempt at lasagna that resembled a thick soup, or a collection of little plants that now decorated the windowsill in the living room. The apartment came to life. The rooms, previously cold and impersonal, began to reflect the couple's personality. Lucy discovered unexpected pleasure in transforming the space, finding small joys in each new skill she acquired. A month after his layoff, while Mark was savouring a surprisingly delicious dinner Lucy had prepared, he commented, "I've never seen you so happy, you know. Your eyes shine differently now." Lucy reflected on the observation, surprised by its truth. The constant pressure had disappeared, replaced by a quiet contentment she had never experienced in her corporate life. But not everything was perfect. After a few weeks of various culinary experiments, including a mysterious Thai recipe that left both of them feeling unwell for 2 days, Mark made a suggestion that seemed innocent at the time. "Love, maybe we could order food occasionally until you master these more exotic recipes better," he said, after tasting a curry that resembled aromatic cement soup. Lucy nodded with a smile, but those words echoed in her mind throughout the night. Could it be possible that Mark was tired of the constant changes? Was she being excessive in her enthusiasm? Insecurity, an old acquaintance from corporate times, stealthily reappeared. This feeling intensified when, in the following weeks, Mark began to go out some nights, claiming he was going to his brother James's house to watch sports games. It wasn't something completely unusual. They had always maintained space for their individualities in the relationship. But now, with doubts already planted, Lucy began to question the timing of these outings. I'm going to James's house tonight. There's a game for my team, Mark announced on a Thursday after dinner. Don't wait up for me. I might be back late. Lucy nodded, watching him choose a shirt nicer than usual for a simple game at his brother's house. It seemed strange to her, but she pushed the thought aside. Mark had always been a man who valued good appearance, even on informal occasions. When summer arrived, bringing warmer days and starry nights, Lucy remembered that Mark's birthday was approaching. She decided to organise a surprise party, something they had never done before due to their always busy schedules. The idea of gathering friends and family to celebrate seemed perfect to demonstrate her love and gratitude. Secretly, Lucy began the preparations. She contacted close friends, ordered a cake in Mark's favourite flavour, and planned a simple but elegant decoration. There was only an old college friend of Mark's, Ethan, whom she couldn't reach. She remembered that Mark kept an old planner in the home office, where she would probably find the number. One afternoon while Mark was at work, Lucy entered the small office. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the meticulously organised mahogany desk, a notable characteristic of Mark. She opened the top drawer looking for the planner. That's when her eyes landed on a brown folder. Normally she wouldn't have given it much thought, but the title Divorce Proceedings stamped on the side made her heart freeze. With trembling hands, she opened the folder just enough to see the familiar last name, Daniels. The world seemed to slow down. A strange buzzing filled her ears as she tried to process what she was seeing. Mark wanted a divorce? How was that possible? When had he made that decision? The questions multiplied in her mind, each more painful than the last. The sound of the front door opening startled her. Quickly, she put the folder back in the drawer and left the office, trying to compose herself despite the inner turmoil. "Home early today?" she asked, making an effort to sound natural while her heart was racing. "Yes, I have a meeting and I forgot some documents," Mark replied, heading to the office. Lucy watched, paralysed, as he opened the drawer and took out precisely the folder containing the divorce papers. That night was a silent torture. Lucy didn't prepare dinner, her mind going over the past few months, searching for signs she might have missed. Was Mark unhappy with their new routine? Had he grown tired of the constant changes in the apartment, the culinary experiments, her perhaps overly enthusiastic demeanour? When Mark arrived for dinner, he found a quiet home and a distant wife. "What do you want to order for dinner tonight?" Lucy asked, without energy. "What? We're not having any new recipe today. No surprise in the decoration?" Mark questioned, clearly confused by the change in behaviour. "I wasn't very excited for surprises today. And you, Mark, are you planning any surprise?" replied Lucy, unable to completely hide the hurt in her voice. "Me? No, my love. You know me. I'm a very predictable guy when it comes to surprises," answered Mark, not understanding the accusatory tone. Later, upon getting out of the shower, Lucy heard Mark on the phone in the office. Yes, I have already reviewed the document, and I think the terms of the divorce are fair. You can draft the official document and she will be notified tomorrow. Thank you." The words were like stabs. Lucy slept with dry tears on her face, trying to understand how her seemingly solid marriage had fallen apart without her noticing. The next day dawned grey, reflecting her state of mind. Mark left for work with a routine kiss, without any indication of what was about to happen. Lucy spent the day in a state of stupor, awaiting the inevitable blow. When the doorbell rang in the late afternoon, she took a deep breath, preparing to face a lawyer with official documents. Instead, she found herself facing a delivery man holding a large box. "Delivery for Mrs. Daniels, the cake for the party." Lucy took a few seconds to process. The cake. Mark's birthday. The surprise party. Amid the shock of the discovery, she had completely forgotten. In the following minutes, while placing the cake in the fridge, the doorbell rang again, and again, and once more. Soon the house was full of friends and family, all smiling, bringing gifts and good vibes. Lucy moved automatically, serving drinks and chatting, but her mind was elsewhere, anticipating the embarrassing moment when Mark would arrive, perhaps accompanied by a lawyer. Mark walked in at exactly 7, greeted by a chorus of "surprise" that left him momentarily speechless. His face lit up with a genuine smile as he embraced friends he hadn't seen in a long time. Lucy watched from a distance, feeling a sharp pain at the thought that this would probably be the last party they organized together. During the celebration, Mark noticed Lucy's distant behavior. Amid greetings and conversations, he cast concerned looks in her direction. Finally, while the guests were entertained with the appetizers in the living room, he discreetly pulled her into the bedroom. "Lucy, what is happening? You organized this incredible party, but you seem completely unhappy." The words Lucy had rehearsed all day vanished. In their place, a raw honesty emerged. "I know about the divorce papers, Mark. I found the folder in your office." Mark's face shifted from confusion to understanding, and then, surprisingly, he started to laugh. A genuine laughter that left Lucy completely bewildered. "Oh, Lucy, those are not our divorce papers," he explained, holding her hands. "They are my brother James's divorce documents. He is separating from Melissa and asked me to review the terms since I work with contracts at the construction company. He didn't want anyone to know until everything was finalized, so I've been going to his house some nights to help him with the documents and provide emotional support." Lucy felt like a huge weight had been lifted off her shoulders. "It's just that I had only managed to see that the folder had Daniels written on it." "Yes, Daniels, the surname I share with my brother," Mark explained gently. Tears of relief welled up in Lucy's eyes. I thought you were tired of me, of the constant changes, of my disastrous culinary experiments." Mark pulled her into a tight embrace, his familiar scent bringing a sense of security that Lucy feared she had lost forever. "I would never trade a life full of surprises," he murmured in her ear. "You surprise me every day. Every day as I drive back home, I look forward to seeing you. Your energy and creativity give me strength. These last few months seeing you flourish at home have been the happiest of our marriage." Lucy pulled back slightly, looking into her husband's sincere eyes. "Even when I burn dinner?" "Especially when you burn dinner," he laughed. "Because it's genuine. It's you trying, exploring, living fully, something your old routine never allowed." In that moment, amid hugs and tears of relief, Lucy realized she had built a mountain of insecurities from a small stone of doubt. The open communication they always valued had faltered briefly, but it was restored, stronger than before. When they returned to the room hand in hand, the party seemed even more vibrant. Friends noticed the change in Lucy's demeanor, now radiant. Later, after the guests had left, and while they were cleaning up the remnants of the celebration, Mark asked curiously, "What made you think I wanted a divorce?" Lucy reflected for a moment. "I guess I still carry insecurities from my past life, always expecting something to go wrong, always anticipating failure." Mark nodded understandingly. "Perhaps that will be your next adventure then, learning to trust the present without fearing the future." The next day, Lucy woke up feeling renewed. The kitchen, which had briefly seemed like an emotional battlefield, returned to being her laboratory of experiments. The difference was that now, amid flour and spices, a new recipe was being prepared, not just of food, but of trust, communication, and love. And as she kneaded the dough of a new bread that would surely turn out either too hard or too soft, Lucy smiled to herself. Life, like cooking, was made of trials, errors, adjustments, and occasionally, delightful surprises. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.